Hi, my name is Marissa Menendez, and this is my video of my presentation on Harry Harlow. So Harry Harlow was an American psychologist. His real name, or his full name, is Harry Frederick Harlow. He was born October 31st in 1905, and he studied at Stanford University, where he was originally an English major, but after failing a few classes, he decided to switch over to psychology, which is how he got his PhD in psychology at Stanford. And then he became a professor at the University of Wisconsin of Madison. So Harry Harlow obviously did a lot of experiments. They were all mostly based on social isolationism and relationships between humans and relationships between animals. So he initially worked with monkeys at the Henry Villas Zoo, but eventually he had to switch over to baby monkeys in a lab setting because those monkeys were figuring out strategies in order to figure out his experiments. So that's why he had to switch over to the infant newborn monkeys, which is why his experiments were highly controversial, because he was essentially stealing those babies away from their mothers. His most famous experiment is the monkey love experiment, and this experiment explored the role of attachment in development, because Harry Harlow was trying to argue that the mother-child relationship goes beyond just food and nourishment. There is actual emotional attachment there that is important for their development, which was different from the time. Most people thought that mothers or parents were only important for that food and nourishment. So his monkey love experiment, actually he experimented with baby rhesus monkeys. So what he would do is he would take them away from their mothers like a very, very, very young age. They were newborns, and he would put them in these areas with two surrogate monkeys. One would be made of wire mesh, and the other would be made of cloth. So each baby had both the wire mesh and cloth monkeys. But the difference was some of the monkeys had food with the wire mesh monkey, and others had food with the cloth monkeys. And obviously the cloth monkeys are going to closely simulate the biological mother. And so the babies he realized from this experiment that the babies with the wire mesh mother that had the food, those babies were very, they did not react normally to threats. What they would do is they would throw themselves on the ground and rock back and forth, whereas the babies that had the cloth mothers with the food, they would react normally to threats, which would mean that they would cling on to the cloth mother. But he also realized that the babies with the wire mesh mother with the food, they would spend more time with the cloth mother, even though the wire mesh mother had the food, which is very strange. They would only go and spend time with the wire mesh mother when they were feeding, essentially. So that was interesting to note as well. So actually these were very revolutionary results, because during the time, behavioral scientists and psychoanalysts, they believed that humans and animals only needed their mothers, mothers for nourishment. They didn't need them for development. They didn't think it was important. But obviously this monkey love experiment showed that emotional acceptance, love, affection were all critical in development. Some of the follow-up experiments they all proved Harlow's conclusion as well, that monkeys that were separated from their mothers experience distress, and oftentimes they experience death. So obviously that was not working out very well for them. And after this, after people started researching, after Harlow's experiment, they realized that they came up with the attachment theory, which is the attachment theory proposed that attachment can be understood within an evolutionary context, in that the caregiver provides safety and security for the infant. And attachment is adaptive as it enhances the infant's chance of survival. So obviously that goes back to Charles Darwin and his evolutionary theory, which would lead into natural selection and adaptation. So that's obviously very important for to know for the AP exam. And Harry Harlow won the Howard Crosby Warren Medal and the National Medal of Science, and the gold medal from the American Psychological Foundation. So obviously he was very influential and revolutionary in the results that he came up with from these experiments. And that is the rest of my presentation, so thank you.